In this question here, we're using a rule that we call, in this question here, we're using the rules for the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Now, an altitude starts at the vertex of a triangle and hits the opposite side at a right angle. So we do have an altitude here in BD. It starts at a vertex and it hits the opposite side at a right angle. Now that is the altitude to the hypotenuse, because this is a right triangle and this is the hypotenuse of that triangle. And so not only is BD an altitude, it's an altitude to the hypotenuse. It's hitting the hypotenuse at a right angle. Now we're making such a big fuss about that because there are two very important rules you need to know for the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle. The first one we call the T rule. If you have three segments, this one, and this one, let's call those A, B, C. The T rule says that A over B equals B over C. And you can use that to find a missing side, and that's what we're going to use here. But there's also the Nike swoosh rule. We obviously don't have Nike's permission to say this, but in any case, the Nike swoosh rule would be used if you had a piece on this side of the hypotenuse and if the hypotenuse is broken into two sides. In that situation, we would say B over A equals A over the whole hypotenuse, B plus C. Let's go through that again. You go to where the hypotenuse itself is being split, and you go toward one of the legs, B over A. Then you circle back, equals A over the whole hypotenuse. B over A equals A over B plus C. The same thing can be done in the opposite direction. If we were looking for D, if we started at the place where the hypotenuse is split and we go toward the leg, C over D equals D over the whole hypotenuse. So C over D equals D over B plus C. So that's the harder of the two rules. But in this question, things are actually not so bad. We've got BD being 6, AD is 8, and we're looking for DC, which is X. So that's our nice, easy T rule. We can say 8 over 6 equals 6 over X, and just cross multiply and solve that. So 8x equals 36 divided by 8. X is 36 over 8, which is the same as 18 over 4, which is the same as 9 over 2. And that right there is our answer.